taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as me. I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart, I'm ready to change. Scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me.
Hallo, guten Abend und willkommen zur FPL Agony, das beste Podcast für Fantasy-Fußball. Ich heiße Matt und ich bin mit meinen Freunden Scott und Signore. Und wir sind sehr aufgeregt, weil haben wir ein neuer Chef für unser englische Fußballmannschaft. Ja, was ist das Problem? Es ist kein Problem. Ich bin sehr glücklich. Wir sind sehr glücklich. Aber Gary Neville und Jamie Carragher sind sehr traurig. Schade. Hello and welcome to FPL Agony, here to make fantasy football less like hell. Are you afraid of a bit of German? Don't worry about it. Well, actually, if you are, leave. Get out of here. We don't want you here. There's nothing wrong with being German, is there, Scott and Signore?
Wunderbar. About as far as my German goes.
You right, Scott?
Yeah, not bad. Just thought I was in a language lesson then.
We got subtitles for this.
I will translate. I'll translate what I said. I said, hello, welcome to FPL Agony, the best podcast for fantasy football. My name is Matt and I'm with my friends Scott and Signore, and we are very excited because we have a new boss of our English football team. What's the problem? There is no problem. We are very happy. But Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are very sad. Too bad. That's what I said. I'm going to give...
Just have a little round of applause. Yeah. Bit of praise.
How many viewers we lost from that?
Stagnant.
Yeah, it's stagnant. It's all right. We'll be fine. So welcome to the show. We're talking about Gameweek 8. We're going to talk about what the hell happened in Gameweek 7, but let's introduce you to our Cockney experts in residence. He's not afraid of a bit of German, but he is also very Italian. It's Signore.
Buonasera.
Got a bit of Italian for us.
I just said buonasera.
Ah,
Like, good evening.
lovely. That's very nice.
Yeah,
That's
buonasera,
very nice.
come va? Io sto bene.
Oh,
Gianfranco Zola, Fabrizio Ravanelli,
Oh.
Franco Baresi.
oh. I don't know any Italian.
Go on, Scott.
Right then, mate.
Continuing our international theme, we have our friend Scott all the way from the East End of London. He speaks fluent Cockney.
And Dutch. Go on, speak some Dutch.
Ust, Skoda, knee and 10. Ust, Skoda, knee and 10.
Is that head, shoulders, knees and toes?
In Dutch, yeah. Well done.
No, is it actually?
Yeah. It actually is. It actually is, yeah.
I don't speak any Dutch, but it's just the inflections and the way you broke it each up. It just sounded like, that's amazing.
Does it sound like I speak Dutch pronouncing it like that?
It does, yeah. But have you got any
carry that
have you got any Cockney for us? A bit of Cockney.
Yeah, I've been working been going up a lot of flights of bees and honey and a bit of, apples and pears, you know what I mean? Like, keeping it going. Eating some grub. Happy days.
Very good.
All
See,
kosher.
we are so cultured, and people who don't watch this show, they miss out, don't they, guys?
I'm massively cultured. I don't know about you lot, but I'm proper cultured.
I think you're the most cultured of all of us after you could decipher Abu Yasser from a few game weeks ago. So, your fluent Arabic is very impressive.
Yep.
If you're watching live tonight, get involved in the chat. My mum is already in the chat. Hello, my mother.
Oh, Mrs. Gill.
And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe on YouTube and all the stuff. We're on 448. We're aiming for 500. Get there. Scott's got his hand up. Let's hear it.
I think it's calling for offside.
I heard something during the week. I'm not calling for offside. People think that your mum is a fake account. It's just another one to get views.
No way.
Honestly, brilliant.
Can I have the name after the show? Can I have the name of who thinks that?
Absolutely.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be very good to know. Wow. Well, what a show we have for you today. We are off to a banging start, and let's first of all talk about our FPL Agony League. You can join it with the code E54QBG. We've got hundreds of people in there, and let's congratulate someone who's returned to the top. It's FPL Fish, Ashley Brown. There you go. Well done. Top of the table with 495, which is absolutely fantastic. And if you cast your eyes down the top 10, you'll notice that none of us are there because you have to scroll and scroll and scroll a bit longer. And eventually, you get to the three of us. Inexplicably, I am top. I'm in 41st place. Signore is in 45th and Scott's in 46th. There's only 3 points between us. It's very close. Who knows what happens. Just a quick deviation. My mum is in the chat and confirms that she is real. There we go. My mum knows all the words to Blue is the colour. My mum is not a Chelsea fan. My mum doesn't even follow football. She just supports the show. My granddad was an Arsenal fan. And I've got a bunch of outsider family who are support West Ham. Irons! So there's no actual reason for me to support Chelsea, but I do, for better or worse. Anyway, if you want to get involved in the FPL Agony League, E54QBG, it's all in the descriptions in various places. Another message in the chat, Andrew Comley's here. Yes, What? What? Scott, give us some context. Andrew Comley says get a life.
I have no Scooby. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'll give you support. I'll give you some support, and then you get that.
I know. Shocking. You find out who your friends are, don't you? When you do a fantasy football live stream and podcast, you certainly find that out. Talking of people who need friends, though. I think it's time to visit our oh dear teams of the week because these people need friends.
Am I on it?
Friends don't let friends get 28 points in a game week. That's what happens. We have Joe Biss, who got 28 points. Can't get a goalkeeper to get a point for love nor money. Captain Haaland, like everyone else, so can't complain. Has Welbeck in the team, which is a good move. Just a bit unfortunate. It's not a terrible team by any stretch, actually. It's quite good. But just a bit unlucky, Signore. What do you reckon?
Yeah. So I'm a little bit hesitant because I could be on this.
What? Oh, could you? Don't worry. Let me reassure you.
Gameweek 7.
This is the highest score of the bottom three. So don't worry. Don't worry. You miss out. Don't be nervous. We can save that for another week. Okay. So it's all good. Coming up in a close second with 25 points, we have, who is this? Jonathan Corbett, 25 points. Again, not a terrible team. Captain Haaland, like lots of people did, but it has good players. It has Matoma and Diaz and Salah, Robinson as well. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But Scott, any advice for how Johnny C could get a few extra points this game week? Time to play a wild card?
I got scared. I thought you were supposed to play, and Scott, here is your team. Yeah, potentially. There's quite a few flags there. And obviously, I don't think... I know Diaz had a rest in game week 7, but I think there's also that, price drop people got to worry about at this stage of the season. You worry about losing money on players. Areola, I think, is also another one with conceding goals fairly regularly. So, yeah, just sack it in, to be honest. Save it for next season. Just save up all your free transfers 25-26.
Okay, yeah, because they carry on from year to year. So you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Very good. Yep. You can have a drum for that one. Okay, right. But there's one person who did a lot worse. And
a lot worse.
Yeah, and it's not their first time being an oh dear team of the week. Because Tom Rogers is back. Tom Rogers, you may remember Tom Rogers.
That guy.
It's probably his third time on our show. Tom Rogers got 15 points, the second lowest we've ever had. So let's do a bit of an autopsy.
To be beaten by Tom Rogers.
Yeah. Tom, mate, you're a dirty casual. Stop it. Right, okay, so we got Rodrigo, who obviously got 0 points. Lindstrom, 0. Solid. I honestly got a solid bench. Neto, 0. Branthwaite, 0. McGinn, 0. And White, 0. So absolutely smashing it. Signore, what do you reckon?
Yeah, they're all in a medical room. What is going on with his bench?
Some
the medical room.
Some transfers definitely needed.
God, yeah, transfers and maybe, just maybe,
an autopsy.
Are we keeping it medical? He needs a bit of CPR or something, yeah, on his team. Oh dear. Well, there we go. If you had a bad week, don't worry, because these three probably did a worse job. Than you. But should we go to the other end? Because I want to introduce to you this week's captain, leader, and legend. Someone who did particularly well, who made a good decision. Not the top in our league, didn't get the most number of points, but just someone I wanted to give a shout out, because when I saw their team, I was like, fair play, did a good job. This is the team of one Mr. Jonah Bishop, who captained Saka, got 32 points. Pretty solid team all around, but that Saka decision really paid off, didn't it, Scott?
Wow, that's insane. I mean, on my screen, it's quite small, so all I can see is just dots and flags. But very nice. Yeah, fair play.
Fair play. Very good, very good. No, I think it's a pretty decent team. But anyone who captained Saka last week, I mean, well done to you. You've done a great job. Well done. Let's have a cheer. Let's have a cheer for Mr. Bishop there. Well done. Good stuff. Right. So let's talk about our main topic of the week, I think. And I think it's going to get a little bit heated. I think we're all in agreement, but there are many people out there who aren't. It's the whole reason I started this show in German. Thomas Tuchel has been appointed England manager. He's the third foreign coach of England, the first German to do it, but is a very successful coach. Has won many trophies, managed great teams across Europe. He's on an 18-month contract, which we can talk about in a minute. And this is proving quite a divisive decision. Lots of people are fine with it, and lots of people are really, really not. So, Scott and Signore, I want to talk to you about your opinions on whether you think Tuchel is right for England. Signore, let's start with you. When you heard the news, Tuchel is becoming England manager from January 2025, what were your thoughts?
All positive. I mean, why wouldn't you want him? Who do you want instead? Sean Dyche? Like, can we look at the crop of England managers that are currently out there? You know, maybe Eddie Howe might be the only one everyone goes, yeah, maybe him. But is he quite ready yet? He still wants to do club football. Please. Who else do you really want who's available that we don't have to, like, do you know what I mean, rip apart our whole system for? Like, he knows English football. Having, like, coached Chelsea there, and he's brought, like, English players over to Bayern Munich when he was there. I think it's a great call.
Yeah. And Scott?
I agree with Signore. I mean, he knows the game. He knows the English game. Sorry, he knows exactly what Signore said. You know, Eric Dyer, Harry Kane. You know, Kane is the England captain. Kane's been very vocal on social media about how happy he is to be reunited with him. I think he was harshly done by Bayern Munich as well to lose his job quite early. He's got a wealth of experience, and for him to step out of club management at this point in his career, he's only 51. It's not like that's old for a manager. He's won stuff everywhere. Yes, okay, there's going to be debates over his nationality, but fantastic appointment. I really do. I think he plays some very good football, very defensively structured. I think will score goals. I think it's exciting. It's the prime appointment you could have made if you're going for a foreign coach as well. And it's the idea of being a head coach rather than a manager. I think there's going to be lots of focus on that training pitch to bring us some glory for the World Cup.
Yeah. The sentiment is shared with me entirely. Scott told us during the week he was in the running, and I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it because it just felt too far-fetched, you know. And I just think it's absolutely right, you know. If you look at the list of trophies, I think he's won 11. You know, most of them are cup competitions. Tournament football is something that Thomas Tuchel really, really does well at. You know, let's not forget he took over a Frank Lampard Chelsea team full of players who'd been transferred in, not quite gelling. It wasn't working. We outplayed so many teams to get to the final, and then we won the Champions League as underdogs against Man City. You know, and it was absolutely, absolutely solid. And he's done great work. You know, he won the league with Bayern, won the league and cups with PSG, done some just absolutely fantastic work. And, you know, okay, we have a foreign coach, but he's already managed in England. He knows the English game really well. And you can see that Tuchel wanted to come back to England. I think he feels more respected here. He's not held in massively high regard in Germany for some reason, but he's been really successful over here, and you can tell he really wants it. And it's just.
Do you know what I really like as well? He's
Go on.
got personality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's got that charismatic buzz on the touchline. He's good with the press. You know, he's just got that where I don't think. When was the last sort of manager we had with a bit of buzz about them when it came to that? You know, maybe maybe Venables.
Yeah, that come up in conversation yesterday about Venables, actually, about some personality, some character. I think it's pretty obvious that when you go again and again and again and again, being linked with English clubs, Tottenham turned to Premier League with Tottenham. I think at one point mooted a return to Chelsea. I'm not even a joke, like no joke, after the second Frank Lampard era. Man United, you know, I think I don't know if this is true, but I heard lingerings on that we attempted to contact him at West Ham before Lopetegui. Not that it was going to happen. Well respected, knows the English game. You know, a lot of those Chelsea players have been in and out of the England squad for quite a while now, back to his time in the squad. You know, you're talking about competition for places. He knows how to deal with big squads and big personalities and, you know, the egos that come with playing for England. Even in his first interview, you know, I was so pleased with the way he conducted himself. You know, I know it sounds silly, we always say we this, we that. He's a German. For him to go, we want to do this, we want to, you know, achieve this for our fans. It's a way to win up.
I do think you make a great point though, Scott. Like, he has worked with some big game players, and we've got that crop at the minute when you think we've got the likes of Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Palmer. You know, we've got that crop that need probably a little more release in their freedom to play. I understand Southgate is quite reserved and got through tournament football for us. Great, yep. But we want to see a bit of flair, don't we? I would have taken winning the World Cup or Euro Championship, not playing great football, just so that I can say that we've won something in our lifetime. Because 66 don't count for me. You know, that doesn't count for me. So with this crop players, we need to be challenging. We need to be winning, like, tournaments. We do.
Luke in the chat says Chelsea were far too quick to get rid of him. Completely agree. I mean, it was a shocking decision, you know, when you replace him with Graham Potter, given his achievements.
I was going to say, I'm losing track with the amount of managers you bring in and sack within 5 minutes. So I was trying to work out who come in after him. It was Potter, who lasted, a year?
Yeah. It was criminal. It was criminal how he was treated.
Not even a year.
You know, the only issue I have with, you see that list there on a famous page that we like to use information from. Apart from Mainz 05, he's only been at clubs for the amount of time that basically he's got a contract for at England. And are they just cautious that it's not going to work? Is it fan backlash? Is it just he's there to get us to the World Cup and to participate in the tournament? And if it doesn't work, then they will look to appoint an Englishman. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know, as you know, that's just something I would love to see this really work.
Do you know what I was thinking though? Would anyone have made a big fuss if we got Pep?
No, of course not. I mean, that is the admiration one, isn't it? That's what they're talking about in the FA. They're looking at him, but that's just not realistic, is it? Like, regardless of what happens with City, you know, that we've got videos that you can check back on that. But I think for me, this was the elite appointment outside of any fantasy of Pep Guardiola, in my opinion. You know, there was links to Potter again. You know, there was links to those English managers that, you know, I've been very vocal on Potter. You know, he overachieved at Brighton because they've got good, you know, business strategy when it comes to buying and selling players. He got caught out at Chelsea, I think. It's an elite appointment. I won't be, you know, turned away from that. It's an elite appointment for us.
Yeah, and you know, it's in you talk about Pep, and there was apparently a really early approach, an inquiry made about whether Pep would be interested in the job back in July, and I'm sure he was like, lol, no thanks. But even Thomas Tuchel is held in high regard by the top managers, including Pep. But I think the Pep's a really good example of where opposition to Thomas Tuchel's appointment falls apart. Because, I'm going to show you an example, all right? This is Sam Wallace of The Telegraph. 12th of October. Could the FA shoot for the stars and go for Pep Guardiola as England manager? Appointing 6-time Premier League winner would be most ambitious project for governing body since the rebuilding of Wembley. 3 days later, the same writer, Sam Wallace, appointment of foreign manager goes against everything international football exists for.
I did not see that.
The hypocrisy of people making this complaint. And you're quite right, Signore, if we appointed Pep, no one would be complaining about the foreign issue. No one would be mentioning that because it's Pep. And Pep's done everything, he's won everything, one of the most successful managers of all time. All right?
Yeah,
he's never gonna manage England.
No. I mean, I even read somewhere that we made a last-ditch attempt for Ancelotti or something as well. And that would have been outstanding as well. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, he's tied to Real Madrid. That would have been extremely tricky.
Yeah,
and he likes that setup at Real Madrid. He's been their longest reigning manager for God knows how long now. Because they get rid of their managers like we get rid of our managers, as in Chelsea. So I think this is. I'm just excited. He's not taking over to January, isn't he?
No, that's right.
Well, we've only got one round of fixtures left, haven't we? In November, with my uncle leading the pack for the last time. But
this is wunderbar.
I think it's just this trend of just trying to slate the fact that we've got a manager here for the third time. It's only 3 managers of the national team that have been foreign.
Yeah,
like I was 9 years old maybe when Sven got appointed. So I generally can't remember the backlash. Did he even get backlash? I was around for Capello and I remember that. I think Tuchel, has a bigger pedigree than both Sven, rest in peace, my man, and Capello ever had. And I know Capello managed at the very top as well. As you said, Matt, tournament football is where he actually unleashes. Yeah. And this is what we've appointed him for.
And he was appointed, and I thought he did a really good press conference, and he filmed a little video of himself afterwards. In a press conference, he talks about being at Wembley, seeing a quote from Pele on the wall. He spoke about that. In his video afterwards, he mentioned about working really hard and getting a second star on our shirt. That's what he said. That was a nice moment, right? You feel
exactly
like he gets it. You feel like he gets it. And I think that's really important. But against all of this, I don't know, is it rage bait? Are people just disagreeing with this appointment because they want to get views and money? Possibly. It feels really insincere to me. But when you've got people like Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, who obviously know a lot about what they're talking about, but complaining that, they would have preferred an English manager.
Can we just go through the English managers?
Yeah.
So we mentioned Potter, Dyche, like Mr. 442, right?
Perfect segue.
Perfect segue. Because you know how much I love a table. So I've collated some stats, right? The only person to have managed a team in more games than Thomas Tuchel is Eddie Howe, but not many more. Okay, so I'm comparing Thomas Tuchel in terms of managerial win percentage and number of games they've managed against the number of trophies. So Thomas Tuchel, we were talking about, a 57.2% win rate in 613 games, right? He's won 11 trophies. And these aren't like, the Audi Cup. This includes league titles, the Champions League, some really good stuff. Sorry, Spurs.
Clap. Put the clap one out. That was a good one.
What do we think of Spurs? Right, okay.
Talking of Jack Wilshere about to be appointed Norwich City.
That is true. I read that.
Or something like that.
Yes, that's right. Oh, that's random, isn't it? Let's
Really?
go. Let's go. Yeah, he is. Yeah, just yeah.
God, Jack Wilshere, eh? God.
Yeah, I know.
That man spent more time in a medical room than anyone else I think I've ever seen in football. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it?
And we've got some candidates for the medical room, right?
Let's talk about let's get back on track. Let's talk about some of the English managers then, because people are saying we should have an English manager. Or let's look at who's available. You know, Eddie Howe, 43% win rate, 679 games, 1 trophy. Graham Potter, 43% win rate, 466 games, 3 trophies, but not in England. Lee Carsley, 62.7% win rate, but that's 59 games, 1 trophy. All right, it's an important one. Frank Lampard, 41% success rate, 196 games, 0 trophies. Sean Dyche, 34.8% over 546 games, 1 trophy.
Wait,
Stephen Gerrard. Oh, it was like League One or something. I don't know. It's something like Sean Dyche. Hang on. Let's look it up. It's definitely true.
Or was that when he played and he got in a playoff final or something like that?
No, let's have a look. I'll find out for you if you want to know. Let me just scroll down. I'm on our favourite website.
Burnley. He got promoted. He won the league with Burnley, didn't he?
Yeah, that must be it.
Did he get second?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, Football League Championship 2015 to 2016. So that was his trophy. Okay. Stephen Gerrard, 1 trophy with Rangers, 56.2%. Win rate, 276 games. All right. You know,
Can I just say as well?
Yeah, go on.
Do you know not one English manager has won the Premier League?
Yep. I know. The point, Gary Neville was saying this thing about all the work that the FA have been doing in terms of like players and St George's Park and all the kind of the structure of English players coming through the system, and that has worked. You know, we've got an under-21 European Championship. We've got, you know, we can get to finals of tournaments. The main team gets to finals of tournaments. We can win penalty shootouts. Okay, so we've proven all of that. But what this new system hasn't done, and which I feel like Gary Neville slightly missed the point, was what it hasn't applied to is managers. You know, we're looking at players. We're looking at a system of coaching, getting people through. Where's the system for generating English managers? As you said, an English manager has never won the Premier League. Where's the system for that? It doesn't exist, and that's why we're in the position we're in. I don't get it. I don't get their point. I don't really understand their points of view. It feels like rage bait to me. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm going off on one. Getting on my soapbox. Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about this all night, to be honest.
We could do.
Very strong opinions on this. So, you know what? There's another one before we go and maybe move on.
Yeah.
If, you know, there was talk about Southgate being linked to the United job, is he going to come out and say, oh my gosh, Southgate, English manager, you know, managing the most successful club in English football, you know, what an appointment? No, because they want a foreign coach to run their football clubs, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, our most successful manager of recent years, club football, is David Moyes. He's a British manager. He has succeeded where so many of our appointments have failed.
Yeah.
You know, we went luxurious with Manuel Pellegrini. It didn't work to replace Moyes. He came back in. Currently, we're not in a great position in League with Lopetegui. Like, it's just one example, you know? And I think you're right. I think a lot of it is rage quit.
Yeah, absolutely. 18-month contract, just to finish off, feels very sensible. It's to get us through a World Cup. And all we need is someone really good at tournament football, really good tactically, because that's all we need is the final layer. We get to finals, we can get there. And that's all we need.
And that's one more thing as well. I believe, like at the tournament, at the Euros, Harry Kane wasn't fit. He clearly wasn't fit. But also, I don't think he was playing in the formation and in the strategy that works for him. He went over to Germany and absolutely nailed in his first season.
Yeah.
Under Thomas Tuchel. And I feel like him managing Harry Kane on an international level will get the best out of him. And he'll stop this going deep. He'll stop this dropping deep for Kane. He'll be in that fox in the box. He'll be sitting there smashing it out. It's a win-win.
Yeah. There we go. Thomas Tuchel, the right choice. Let's talk about fixtures. It's time. Let's talk about the fantasy football bit of the show. So we have
where we all are.
Tottenham versus West Ham, Fulham versus Villa, Ipswich Town versus Everton, Man U versus Brentford, Newcastle versus Brighton, Southampton versus Leicester, Bournemouth v Arsenal, Wolves versus Man City, Liverpool versus Chelsea, and Forest versus Crystal Palace. Let's head over to our king of names, our king of derbies, the Derby King himself. Signore, are there any matches that you're looking forward to this weekend?
No, I'm joking.
Log off now. Let's go.
Probably the Asmir Begovic derby. Our man Asmir.
Well done.
I mean, Ipswich at home to Everton, it could be chaos, couldn't it? You know, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing the outcome of that game. So that's the one for me where I'm like, as like a football fan, I want to watch. You know? I never like watching Chelsea with the big games. I always get nervous about it.
Yeah,
I watch it, but ultimately, yeah. So
I will watch
the Bolo Zenden one or the Yossi Benayoun one, but we'll see.
What about the Fernando Torres derby? Is that good?
Ooh.
He was great for them and crap for us.
Say that.
Actually, that semi-final goal. No,
Won
fair.
the Champions League for us.
Yeah. Well, semi-final. I didn't sure he won it for us, but he got that semi-final goal. You know. Oof. Very good.
I remember with Torres, he came on and we needed a goal and he pushed to the byline to get a crossing where it weren't really happening for us. And we got a deflection and went out for the corner. And then I remember thinking, we're going to score from this corner. There was like 6 minutes left and then we scored from that corner. And I was like, yes, that came. Anyway, sorry.
I was just... I'm getting butterflies now, and you know it's all feeling very good again. Back when Chelsea used to win. Do you remember what winning is, Scott?
Can I just add, right? Can I just add that song that you play with the fixtures, right? That's my jam. I love that song. If you don't get enough credit for that, so brilliant. So that's my jam. Secondly, the London derby of the weekend. Tottenham, West Ham United. We could literally think of a player for each position that's played for both clubs. Right. The Michael Carrick derby. The Freddie
We're doing this, yeah?
Go on.
Oh, God, I'll sit back a little bit. Go on.
The Jermaine Defoe derby. The Freddie Canute derby. The Les Ferdinand derby.
Oh, yeah.
Now that is nostalgia.
Well done. Well done.
The Massimo Tarico derby. He had about... True story. He went to West Ham on loan, got 21 minutes, got injured against Millwall, and then got sent back to Tottenham, I think. So,
wow.
Yeah, that actually happened. And I think that's about it.
Well
so if anyone else has it... What's that?
Who's in goal?
I haven't thought that far, right? There must be a keeper, right? We got linked with Paul Robinson one day. Maybe that works. I don't know. There must be a goalkeeper out there.
Put Canute in goal. He's tall.
Yeah. He's tall. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a few more. I ain't thought of any more than that. Oh,
a few more.
Did Martin Peters also play for Tottenham? Possibly. Back in the day. Bobby Moore. Bobby Moore played for Tottenham. Yeah, he played for everyone. So. Yeah.
Very good.
And there's going to be a link between Bobby Moore and Harry Kane. Both players to lift the World Cup.
There we go. with manager Thomas Tuchel.
Right, I'm just having a quick look who's played for both of them. Robbie Keane.
Oh, yes, of course, Robbie Keane, yes.
Teddy Sheringham. Joe Hart.
Yes, of course.
Oh.
Joe
Of
Hart.
course. Oh, yeah.
And Rebecca Spencer.
What a player. What a player.
Yeah.
Joe Hart's the goalkeeper. Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on.
there you go.
Oh, God, there's some classics here. David Bentley, Matthew Everington,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mido, Scott Parker, Neil Ruddock. Oh, you could actually do this, you know.
That is actually
Z,
personal.
Bobby Zamora,
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Dimitrescu. You are joking. No, you could actually
Wow.
do this.
Paul
Scott.
Konchesky?
I just said Paul Konchesky.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh dear. Before it starts to unravel, go on,
No,
Scott.
no.
You want to say something? Go on.
It's almost like you want my signal to fail.
Right. I think we should talk teams. Let's talk about teams and our decisions. Okay. So we're going to head over, first of all, to Signore. Signore just escaped being featured in the Oh Dear Teams of the Week with 30 points in game week 7. We're going to talk about Signore's transfer. Signore, I believe you have some news for us.
Do you have some images for us, Matt?
Might do.
Oh.
You got to say the words.
It might be the wildcard time. Look at Scott's face. I knew this. I wanted to keep this a surprise for you, Scott. Look at his face. Look at his little face.
Ooh. Yeah, do you know when Signore told me this? He told me this about 9:30 this morning. That's when I found out. And he doesn't do anything by halves, so I've got 3 drafts. I love doing some last-minute work on this show.
So I wanted some opinions because I think I've got like 3 or 4 transfers banked.
Yeah.
And then it's just what do I do with the other 3 or 4?
Okay.
So
Let's go through each one.
Let's go for each one.
So in your first draft, you talk us through what you're thinking.
So my 4 banks are in defence and goalkeeper. So Raya and Begovic comes in. Big Matt as me. And then Collins is coming in because I like Brentford's fixtures and his attack at set plays is incredible. So I feel like he can get a goal and assist in the next couple of games. And Canute's just going to come in because he's a bank starter now for Liverpool instead of Robertson, which I don't mind that because Robertson's role now doesn't seem to be as attacking as he was under Klopp. He's been a bit unlucky with goals and assists. No, my luck, he'll probably get both this weekend against Chelsea. But I just feel like Canute could be a slightly cheaper option to give me more money. And then it's what do I do with my next 3? Because I quite like Rodgers, Salah, Smith Rowe, Vardy and Haaland. You know, and depending who's playing who, I can dip in and out. That's what do I do with my other 3 players. In this draft, for instance, I've got Saka, Johnson and Wood. For instance.
So
But,
that's
you know,
one possibility. Should we talk through your next
that's
one?
one possibility.
Look at the next
Let's have a
change.
look at the next one. Yeah.
The second draft is this. Talk us through it.
So instead of Saka, I've got Martinelli to cover Arsenal, Palmer and Calvert-Lewin instead of Chris Wood. Now, I know Chelsea's fixtures aren't sort of like eye-catching, but Palmer just seems to just score against anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. So that was my thinking there. And I can't remember the last one now. What was my last?
You ready?
Yeah, go on. Oh, yeah. So I go a little bit different. So I go Jackson up front with McNeil. Because, again, Everton's fixtures do look good. McNeil seems to play and he gets in good positions. So, I mean, the only other thing around it is I don't actually take a wild card and I just make my 4 free transfers with the 4 people in defence and then slowly use the others to build a team that I want. But I feel like I'm going to miss out. Like Gibbs White, it paid off for the first couple of game weeks, but it hasn't paid off recently. Do you know what I mean? And I feel bad about losing Hazard. Not Hazard. Havertz. Oh, I went vintage then as well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I feel bad about losing Havertz, but to be able to get in Saka or Palmer, I need to get Havertz out to get a cheaper forward in for that to work. So I feel like this is the right time to play a wild card as such. But I just wanted your thoughts on, because I made my mind up on those 4 in defence and goalkeeper. That's it. They're going to happen.
Yeah.
What do I do about my other 3?
Oof.
For me, the first thing I did when I looked at your drafts was looked at the cost of it. So it's going to cost 12 points. Obviously, you play a wild card, so it won't. So how many transfers is that in total? Are you making to your squad? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I think out of the 3, I'd probably go number 1 because I think you get a bigger balance of
Now
a squad.
I could, instead of Johnson, I think with the budget, I could have Martinelli instead.
Is that including Saka?
Yeah, but I don't know if I've got enough for Mbueno.
I think number 1. Or not. Yeah, number 1.
Or get Chris.
I like the variation of number 3. But I would say number 1 if you're going to pick one. Yeah. It just gives you a balanced squad here. It gives you a benching headache, but with the ever-present of players in and out, genuinely in and out, I think here you've got that balance here for players to come in and out. And if you get early leaks of players not starting, it's just a quick swap. I like it. I also like this is the first wild card I've seen with Salah still in, which is just it's fantastic to see. I mean, I couldn't.
I've been hearing Diaz might not play again. He might be benched because of the travel and stuff. So it's like, okay, as much as I don't really want to lose Luis Diaz either, and I think it could damage Chelsea, there's a chance he won't play and he might get on that rotation with Gakpo on the left. So that's kind of made me think a little bit that. And Johnson, I've heard Son's back now, training. So I don't know how much longer he's going to be getting the minutes. But I could go like Kindle and Breno, for instance.
I'm going to pose something to you here, Signore, that if Saka is deemed out of Gameweek 8, what do you do?
Well, I could revert back to the one where Palmer's in. Or I bring in like Martinelli, or I just don't do a transfer there. Because like I said, I could maybe just take a -4. I could have the 2 goalkeepers, 2 defenders, and I take out Gibbs-White. And I bring in someone different.
Because the next best fixture swing is game week 12. So that is the next best ultimate use of the wild card. Where you could literally just rip up your team. So that's just something to think about if you don't play it. That the next target will probably be game week 12. And with all these free transfers you're banking, you'll be set.
I've got 4. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I plan to not make any transfers unless there's an injury for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to have 5 free transfers.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds insane, doesn't it? To say it out loud, I've got 5 free transfers.
How times
like
change.
I like this one.
Okay.
I do like it. I really like it.
I love that confidence, Scott. Thank you.
Does that help, Signore?
It does indeed. Thank you. So it could well be a wild card being played. Could well be.
For me, it was 1 or 2, but I'm glad we all agree it's definitely not 3. Definitely. I mean, Nick Jackson and McNeil.
Yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit curveball to see what you guys thought.
Yeah, that's quite a curveball. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see what you can afford and what the different variables are.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that team, there's a chance that I could get like Ollie Watkins up there instead. You know, if I like downgrade, I think I can get Ollie Watkins in that team. I can't see how much is in my bank there, but potentially I could like downgrade Saka a little bit and get Watkins. So do you know what I mean? There's loads of different variables that I can do there, but I'm not changing, like I said, for the 5th time, the 2 goalkeepers and the 2 defenders. It's just what do I do with those other 3 players? Do I just do a -4, or do I do all 3 and play a wild card? Do you know what I mean? A -4 just to change Gibbs White, or do I just go do a wild card? Oh,
Ooh. Scott, should we talk about your team? You look after the offended. Should we talk about your team?
Ooh.
This is Scott's team. He used a wild card in Gameweek 7 and got 53 points. Are you doing anything with your team, Scott?
Do you know what? Like, even it's been international weekend, I know there's one flag here. I just don't see the point. I mean, I don't like my 3rd sub. I mean, he's not even got a real face. If you look at his profile, he's got nothing on there.
I don't say he's a nasty person. He doesn't say please and thank you.
I mean, for me, I'm tripled up on City, which is a bit annoying. But for me, it was the right play on the Game Week 7 wildcard. But I'm likely going to roll this week because I quite like the City fixture swing that's coming in from Game Week 9. So for me, depending if we 100% know that Lewis is nailed, I'd likely look to downgrade Garvio to someone else. And with the Arsenal fixture swing, potentially look at downgrading Saka to a City midfielder from Game Week 9. Because I think I said it, I don't know if I said it on stream when we looked at my potential wildcard, is that Saka and Foden are going to have the same 2 fixtures in a row. So then I could literally have Saka, if he's fit for this week, and just switch to Foden and bank the 1 million. That's just me. I think that's something to look into. But apart from that, I think I'm fairly comfortable with the team. I would have liked to have had a better 3rd striker. But I could potentially do that in a few weeks' time if I downgrade one of the City boys, aka Garvio, to save some cash. So yeah. But likely rolling.
I've just got some big concerns over your 3rd sub, Scott. Because, you know, if I was you, I would transfer... Okay, basically, is it Chiwomi? I would take him out and bring in Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool, because then you can complete the Vanarama subs bench.
You beat me to it. I was thinking that.
Van der Ven, Van der Berg, and Van Dijk.
And then I'll end up on one of your bench nightmares. I'll end up with a bench nightmare because I'll have Van Dijk as 3rd sub, yeah?
Yeah, that's good.
Something like that.
Your team looks great. You don't need to do much. I think it's fine. It's all good, isn't it?
I mean, I know we said on Signore's 3rd draft here with McNeil, but you know what? Like, before Game Week 7, he picked up 29 points in 3 game weeks.
Yeah.
That was huge. And I think he's got Ipswich this weekend, as we've mentioned. And I think that's going to be high scoring. Realistically, if Everton's scoring, he's normally involved. Yeah. So I think for now... Yeah. So for now, I feel like he's good enough to stay in the team for a couple more weeks, because I think their fixtures are pretty decent. Then maybe look to downgrade him and move him on. But for now, it's a decent midfield 5. I think if you're playing a midfield 5, you're only playing 2 up top anyway. So actually, like, the 3rd sub doesn't really matter for the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's like the D in Django. It just doesn't matter, does it? So.
Did he also play for West Ham and Tottenham?
Right. Talking of teams that are absolutely fine and don't need any tinkering with, let's talk about my team. I got 37 points. Oh, I forgot about that. I've already played my wild card. I have one free transfer because I used 3 free transfers in this game week. I captained Palmer, which was probably the best choice I could have made. And looking at my team, I don't think I'm going to make any changes. I know I've got a couple of flags on my subs bench. I don't think it's worth making any changes for. I don't know how much have I got in the bank. I don't think it's very much. I've got 0.2 million in the bank and 1 free transfer. I'm not going to really be able to do much with this team. You know, I couldn't even bring in McNeil, who's I think is 5.7, because I've got too many cheapo. Yeah.
To be honest, I quite like your team, you know, and like I said, maybe it's tinkering with your bench, but if you're going to tinker with your bench to not play, there's no point in making that transfer.
Yeah, exactly.
You can bank them, and if for whatever reason, like Bournemouth or Ipswich have got a horrid game, then you can save it for another time, and then you can make those transfers for your bench players to, you know what I mean, to bring them in for that game week. So, yeah, I'd be inclined to roll if I was you, Matt.
Yeah, I think so. The only concern is having Salah and Palmer, who sort of cancel each other out a little bit.
They're midfielders.
It's what it is.
I mean, I don't think you need to worry about that, to be honest. What, you're going to lose 1 clean sheet point, but then they both could end up scoring.
Yeah,
in the
that's
game.
true.
So I don't think there's a big deal. Yeah.
Well, that's straightforward, isn't it? That's very straightforward.
Seems it.
Good. Well, should we finish off the show with your favourite game?
Just before that, it just feels like tonight FPL Agony has become more FPL media, with all the stuff about journalists, and a shout out to the media crew.
FPL Wunderbar.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Right, let's get my game of Who Are Ya fired up. So, for those who don't know, this is a game of Who Are You. Play this each week at the end of the show. We receive a blurred picture of a current Premier League footballer. We have 8 guesses to guess who they are. Every time we make a guess, it will tell us if we've got their age, their club, their nationality, and so on, if we've got that correct. I've forgotten, what's the lineup of scores? Signore is in the lead.
Ooh, is it 3-3?
3-3-2.
But who got the 2? Because Scott cheated, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think it's 3 to me, 3 to.
Did I get the last one? I swear I got the last one.
Yeah, after you read it in the comments.
What, the last one? Last week's one?
No,
quiz?
I got last week's one. Oh, I'm on 4.
No, you're not, because that doesn't count. That's not a game week episode. That enabled you just to get an extra point on the pub quiz, so you beat Scott 4-2.
Right. Oh, true.
So
Yeah.
let's keep it to the game weeks. If you missed our Premier League pub quiz last week, it is on YouTube, and as of about an hour ago, it is also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I uploaded the whole episode. Ooh.
Stop.
What?
Right.
Yoda impression.
Okay. Are you ready to see the photo?
So ready.
You're so ready. Let's take a look at who this is. Go on, Signore, quick.
I want to say Duran.
Okay.
No way.
Oh, no, actually.
It's not, but we know they don't play for Villa. They're a forward and they're older than 20. Okay, Scott.
Just like the TNT video, Nicholas Jackson.
Okay, let's have a look.
I don't think so. Like, Nick Jackson's got quite shaven hair, isn't it?
It is not Nick Jackson. We know they're a forward. They don't play for Villa or Chelsea. They are older than 23, and their shirt number is between 10 and 14.
Do you know, I did think it was Hudson-Odoi, but is he a forward?
We can have a look. Let's have a look. He is.
Would he be classed as a forward?
It's classed as a forwards. Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, let's go for it. Go on.
Okay.
Because he's a winger, isn't he?
Right.
But it's number
It's
14.
not. But their shirt number is 14. We know that. It was very helpful.
It's Thierry Henry, Scott. Go on.
They're a forward and their shirt number's 14.
I know
Who is
it
it?
is.
I got it.
Wait. Oh, why did you just wait until we both said it at the same time?
You could have just said it, Signore, instead of going, I know it.
No, because I thought
Thank you.
Got it first. Let's have a look. And it's correct. Well done.
I see how it is, Scott. I see how it is. I was going to let us add that together, but no. All right, fine.
Being nice costs you dearly, Signore. You should know this. Okay? You just have to go in and say it. No more being Mr. Nice Guy. Oh, he's crushed. Well, that means then it's Signore 3, Scott 3,
Listen,
and the audience 2.
Listen, all of these oohs was going to come back and bite you one day, wasn't it? And it only took you 2 shows, so...
Hang on, I've lost Signore. He's putting back. There we go.
That was also his punishment.
Oh,
That's enjoyable.
good.
Great.
Hang on, I've got an idea.
Ooh.
But you talk amongst yourselves.
Ooh.
Scott, where's for dinner?
I think I know exactly what he's about to do. Shall I tell everyone what he's about to do?
No, you're not going to tell everyone what to do.
Because
Can you save it for the end of the show, and I'll see if you're right. Do the sign off, and just before go on.
Oh, we're doing the sign off.
Do you want to do the sign off? Do the sign off.
Oh, okay. I want to find out what Scott had for dinner, but all right, fine. Just remember, folks, it shouldn't matter who your manager is. We are all human beings at the end of the day. So join us next time on FPL Agony, where we will share my stress and anxieties.
An agony that make us love the pain of this game.
Excellent. Scott, what am I about to do?
You're about to do the sign-off in German.
Ja, mögen alle deine Pfeiler grün sein. Tschüss.
Are we still on it?
No, we're still on air. What's the joke? You can't leave the joke that long, Barrage. What's the joke? We need to know.
Because the P is silent.
Because the P is silent. Oh, well done. You can have that. You can have that, and that.
He's not here, mate. Oh, he still is. We're still on.
We're still on air.
Oh, that's all right then.
Yes. Good thing Scott didn't swear.
When would I ever do that?
Anyway, for the second time tonight, may all of your arrows be green. Good night.